Oh, hi there. I'm just out in the garden, and today I'm going to make a video, and it's because, believe it or not, I had a request for a video, and so that is a request to make a video about pruning tomatoes. Now, there's actually quite a few videos about pruning tomatoes already out there, so what do I have to add to the conversation? I don't know, something maybe. So I'm going to talk about pruning tomatoes, but I'll talk about a couple other things. I'm going to talk about what to do with those, what you could do with those pruned tomato pieces, and another thing about a way that you can help get better fruit set. And since there are quite a few different videos out there, there's lots of different philosophies or different ways to think about pruning tomatoes, I'm going to talk about what I do. And really, I kind of think gardening is kind of a feel thing anyway. I don't know that there's one right answer, so I really think the best way to figure it out is to just go ahead and try and do it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll show you some things, and hopefully they're helpful, and maybe you can go out and try and do it too. Here's a tomato plant. I'll show maybe a couple different ones to try to illustrate the point. So this is for indeterminate tomatoes, the ones that keep growing taller and taller. Here is the main stem, and what was here, there was another branch that was already cut off. But what comes out here, out of this corner, is called a sucker. It's like would grow into a whole other plant. So what you do, if you want, my way is take the suckers off. This is the main stem, keep going up. Here's another branch, and then there's a sucker coming off. Again, take it off, and this helps the tomato put its growth going up. Now, I don't always take them off. I sort of do it by feel. So, and sometimes maybe I don't get it soon enough. Go along, main stem, these branches coming off, and here is a sucker. Now this one's kind of gotten a little bit bigger, and what you could do is cut it off, and maybe some people would say you should. But at this point, maybe I won't, because there's not many other fruit down here lower yet. So I kind of want this, maybe, and I'll prune it and I'll let it grow, because it'll make more fruit. So this is one example. Here is another tomato. This one is also another indeterminate one, and I cut off the lower branches. What you should do, is take off the branches. This one is pretty low and doesn't look very good, so I'm going to cut off anything that's sickly. Try to break it if you can, or cut it, whatever. If you break it off, then you don't have to clean your clippers. If it's going down to the ground, or if it's touching the ground, then I'll take it off. Here's another branch, and over here it's touching the ground a little bit, so I'll take it off. Taking off these lower branches will help put more energy to the fruit, and it'll open it up so there's more air, because you can get all sorts of rots and stuff from tomatoes if there's not enough air. So what I would sort of do, it depends. I do it kind of by feel. It depends what I think it looks like. This branch here, I'll probably leave it. But going up, 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 maybe I would take off all the branches up until there's fruit. But here, this is another sucker, and the sort of traditional way to do it is take off the suckers, so I'm going to. But suckers, you could also call them clones. This will potentially grow into another plant, and I cut off some big ones from another plant, and what I did is I put them in water. And what you can do with them, this has been in water for a little while, but what they do is all the little hairs on the tomato plant, they'll grow roots. And you can take this was a sucker that really got kind of out of control. It got really big. But I can take it, and what I will do is I'll take it and I'll put it in dirt, and I can get a whole new tomato plant. So, a problem I have here is I've probably overcrowded my tomatoes a little bit. And what could happen when you have branches like this, they're touching like this. And you could, potentially, they rub or they damage each other, and you could end up with diseases. Diseases can get in. and it's kind of getting crowded in here. It's like a hedge. So I want to open it up a little so air can flow through and keep it dry. Tomatoes are susceptible to diseases, so if you can get more airflow, I think it helps them stay healthier. So here, I'll try to break it. I broke it off. And I picked this one because it just had those yellowing spots, so it didn't look that good. I thought this leaf looked a little better. That's why I kept it there. Now here is a big sucker. You can see, because here's the main stem. I've cut these ones off because they're low, too low to the ground. It forms a pathway for bugs. And here, this is a branch that looks like another. Over there is another sucker. So I'll take that off. But here's the main stem. This branch is off. This is a leafy branch. And here is another sucker. And I'll take that off. I don't always take them off. Some people say you should take them all off. Some people say you shouldn't take any off. I don't know that there's one right answer. Here is a little tip for getting better fruit set. Tomato flowers are perfect flowers, so they have both the male and female parts, so they don't really need a pollinator to pollinate. They're usually pollinated by wind and things, so each flower has the pollen, the stamen and the stigma in it. And what you can do to help get better fruit set is shake it around. Here's some more. You shake it around. It gets the pollen where it needs to be. And I don't know how long to do it for. I just do it for a little while until I think it's enough. And hopefully that'll help have more fruit set. Perfect flowers. Get the pollen to where it needs to be. Here is that sucker that I showed earlier. So, maybe a little more about the pruning. This is the main stem. And lower leaf. And what I'm going to do before I try to plant it, I want most of these leaves gone. So, lower leaf. I want this one gone. This, see, main stem, leaf out of the corner is a sucker. I want that one gone. I want this one gone. I'm taking these off because I'm going to put it in dirt and try to make it a new plant. This leaf, this branch, gone. And this one was coming out of the corner there. That's another sucker, another potential clone, gone. And there's some fruit there. I don't know. I always try to go for the fruit, but really if I want the plant to survive, I think I'll take it off. Okay. Why am I doing this? You want the leaves take water up. Oh, I'll take that one off too. And it makes it harder. Too much water to drain, harder on the plant. So then another thing you can do with tomatoes, you don't just have to plant at the bottom. You can plant them as deep as you want and they'll put out more roots. Well, if I had a bigger pot I would have planted it deeper, but probably what I'll do is I'll actually trim it. Try again. I couldn't get the roots. I wanted these roots to be in the plant, in the pot. So I'll just take off some of the bottom here. Now those roots will be covered by the dirt. If this went deeper, I would plant it as deep as I could, really. You could plant them all the way up to here. You could plant it all the way up to here if you had a deep enough pot, but I don't have enough space and I don't have enough pots, so that's as far as I can do it. Keep them well watered. They might struggle a little bit at first, but they should survive. And then you'll have a whole new plant that you can keep for yourself, or you can give it away to a friend. So there you have it. My tips on pruning tomatoes and making new tomato plants and helping get better fruit set. Generally speaking, my philosophy on pruning tomatoes is letting the main stem have most of the energy directed to it so we can make the fruit, and taking off lower leaf branches because you're trying to grow tomatoes, not grow a bush. The lower branches, taking off the lower leafy branches so that more air can get through and so that there isn't as much of a pathway for the insects. And well, I think that's about it. Oh, and then I talked about also the shaking the perfect flowers around to get better fruit set. So what I think, I heard something the other day I thought was interesting, that science was kind of used to be called something like natural philosophy, and a lot of the time nowadays we sort of think, well, there's got to be one right way to do things, or the scientists will know something. Well, gardening is kind of like being your own scientist, I think. So maybe there's a way that's better, maybe there isn't, but how are you going to find out unless you try? So why not go out and give it a shot? Anyway, thanks for watching.